With the rise of Jake Paul in the world of boxing, he has seemed to make the sport more about braggadocio, flash, money, and most of all, flair. It seems to be who can sell the most pay-per-views, who can make the most money, who can put butts in seats to watch someone win or lose. He has the Conor McGregor effect, he has the Floyd Mayweather effect, and he has done a great job along the way by not only talking, but by fighting. Because at the end of the day, fighting wins fights. But he has also paved the way for many other celebrities to come in and try their hand at boxing. His brother Logan just came off the most freak show fight of all time against one of the greatest boxers to ever do it, Floyd Money Mayweather. Then you have Austin McBroom. You have Landon McBroom. You even have Blueface fighting in bare knuckle boxing. Albeit he didn't actually fight in bare knuckle, but he was yet another celebrity to step in and fight under the Marcus and Queensberry rules. And that is what I'm here for. We as average citizens have beefs, but not all of us have the ability to step in the ring and handle it the noble way. Athletes on the football field, the basketball court, even the tennis court have beefs. We see them jawing at each other through games. But do you ever wonder what would happen if those two athletes would step in to a boxing ring and actually fought? I'm Hollywood AJ from the Keep It 100 podcast, and these are the top 5 celebrity boxing matches that we must see.
Number 5, Hollywood AJ versus Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I bet that's one you didn't see coming. That's right, I'm officially calling out Tekashi 6ix9ine. This was a tough pick. It was either between him or DaBaby, but I actually have a list, and I'm going to do that in another video. I have an actual celebrity hit list. You know, I figured there's not really any Pueblo boxing leagues out there, especially for celebrities like me, so why not go after the real celebrities, the fake street gang bangers. I see you training with Ryan Garcia and you actually think that'll help you. Sure, Ryan Garcia is a legend, but he is not going to put you on that level of what you need to be as a fighter. You are probably the most weakest rapper out there. All I know is I would walk in there completely scrubbed out and knock you out inside 30 seconds. Not one round, not 1 minute. I would knock out Tekashi 6ix9ine in under 30 seconds. I would punch him one time so hard, his tattoos would fly off clean off his face. And I would punch his gold fake teeth so far down his throat, someone's gonna have to stick a toothbrush up his ass just to brush him. That is right. I am not meant to be dealt with, Tekashi. I'm the women's pet and the men's regret. I am the man of the hour that is too sweet to be sour. Beat me if you can. I don't have to train. I don't have to do anything to whoop Tekashi's butt because he is that weak. I would flick him like a booger.
Number 4, Drake versus Kanye West.
Definitely the freshest and most recent beef we have in the celebrity world and in the world of music. Now, Kanye seemed to have started the beef. Drake seems to be the guy that is trying to put out the fire, but Kanye seems like he wants to keep it going. And what I like about this is these guys still have albums waiting to come out. Albeit Kanye's still in the process of promoting his album. Drake's is about done. So it is kind of insane that these two are beefing over their albums essentially. But I would say when they come out, they're going to pull outstanding numbers. And I think it'd be kind of funny if they came out on the same day, which that seems to be tracking towards. But if Drake and Kanye were to fight, let's just say these are two of the most iconic artists of all time. Everyone loves their music. I can't see a Drake hater anywhere. I can't see a Kanye hater anywhere. I'll be honest. I like both of them. Their music is great. Their personalities are great. I wouldn't say so much on Kanye's side, but Drake, he is one of my idols. That is my guy. And one has a whole country behind him. One has a whole city behind him. And with that being said, you can have the fight in Canada, you could have the fight in Chicago, or you can have the fight in Texas, kind of a neutral ground where the fans could come, the whole country could come and meet in one place where they would both have fans. It wouldn't be a home field advantage for anybody. But I would have to say, if this fight were to take place, I'd give the skill advantage to Drake. I feel like he's bigger. I feel like he's stronger. But Kanye, for as crazy as he is, I feel like that's what his only advantage will be. Him being that crazy, him being able to take a punch, him being able to just outlast so many punches, I think, that Drake would throw his way. That could be able to not only make the fight entertaining, but I feel like Kanye could put up a better fight by being that crazy. And in my eyes, that is a fight we definitely have to see.
Number 3, Michael B. Jordan versus Austin McBroom.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This entry is a little bit weird, but all these celebrity fights are going to be a little bit weird. But I think this is a fight that makes the most sense out of all the fights on my list, and here's why. Austin McBroom had one of the most impressive finishes on the YouTubers versus TikTokers pay-per-view. He fought good, and he fought crisp. He took it seriously. I'll give him that much respect, and he had the courage to sign on the dotted line. Anyone that steps in there and fights, I give them the ultimate respect. So right away, he has a little more experience. Here's why I'm saying Michael B. Jordan. We all know him for the roles that he's played in Creed. Creed 1 and Creed 2, Creed 3 coming out next year. But let's not forget, he called out Roy Jones Jr. about 3-4 years ago. He wanted to step in the ring and fight Roy Jones, who is one of the greatest boxers of all time, albeit he's a lot longer in the tooth now, but he's stepping in there against a killer, a guy that does this for a living. That is like Jake Paul wanting to fight Conor McGregor. Like, he's not on your level. Everyone was saying, don't do it, Mike. Come on, don't do it. But I think Austin McBroom is definitely in Michael B. Jordan's wheelhouse. He does everything right. Michael B. Jordan is not some scrub. He actually trains. He goes through heavy, intense workouts to get ready for the Creed films. He does intense weightlifting. He does intense boxing. I don't know if he spars, but that plays a huge factor. He needs to learn how to hit the mitts, which he's done, how to hit the heavy bag, which he's done. He also learns how to use different angles, different defensive tactics. He does everything that a normal boxer or an amateur boxer would do. And that's almost as better as fighting one fight. He has definitely been training longer than Landon. And if you put in your time in anything, the results will show. And I think the results will show in an actual fight if these two were to ever fight. Let's not forget, these two have a backstory between one woman, that being Catherine McBroom. Austin McBroom, obviously, that's his baby mama. They have kids together. They're happily married. That is where the Ace family got started. Michael B. Jordan has definitely moved on, dating Steve Harvey's daughter, and they seem to be happy as well. I'm pretty sure Michael B. Jordan forgot Catherine McBroom even existed. But imagine that being the pre-fight buildup. I know you're not supposed to fight over a female, but that would be such a prominent factor as to why these two are possibly going to fight if that ever comes to fruition. You do not think that Michael B. Jordan wants to get revenge against Catherine McBroom, basically saying, hey, why are you dating this scrub? I was the best thing that ever happened to you. I became more famous. I became more popular. And you stuck with this guy? I would definitely want to tune in for that. And I think it is definitely a fight that we could definitely see. If Michael B. Jordan gets truly serious about stepping in there and boxing, we know Austin McBroom is all about it. It is definitely one of the biggest fights we'd see in the celebrity boxing world.
Number 2, Vin Diesel versus Dwayne Johnson.
This would be the biggest heavyweight fight of all heavyweight fights. We all know the backstory to The Rock calling Vin Diesel and Tyrese candy asses, to Vin Diesel basically being a little bit jealous that Dwayne's career is more successful than his beyond the Fast and Furious franchise. We've seen these two have one of the greatest fights in cinematic universe on Fast 5. And ever since then, I'm pretty sure Vin Diesel's ego in his mind got dented just a tiny bit. They had run-ins on the set of Fast and Furious 7, and ever since then, they had to shoot separate scenes. They couldn't be in the same room together, it seemed like. And with Dwayne taking shots at Vin, and Vin essentially pushing Dwayne out the back door of the Fast and Furious franchise, you could go look that up. Dwayne is like, I'm not filming any more Fast and Furious films. I'm completely done with the franchise. I'm not even going to film any spin-offs. The beef is real between these two, and it seemed to have been squashed in 2020, but now it seems to be reinvigorated after the release of Fast 9. You know, Dwayne was a professional, but Vince seemed to have a little more disdain. And going back to the fight scene they had in Fast 5, you don't mean that they didn't land at least a few intentional punches? I mean, come on. These two guys are the alpha males of alpha males. This would be as big as King Kong and Godzilla. These two guys would fight in a parking lot. These two would fight at a barbecue. These two would fight for free. They do not like each other. And I am truly excited if this fight does ever come to fruition, because these two are big guys. This is not going to be an 8-6 round fight. This would have to be a 4-round fight, because these two guys would run out of oxygen probably after the 3rd round. These two guys are conditioned freak athletes. But I think it would be a little bit different to see them in a boxing match. And who knows, maybe this could be the true way that these two guys can squash the beef. If you ever have beef with someone, this is the most definite way to solve it. You should always aim for peace no matter what kind of rivalry you have. If you want to settle it in a basketball game, football game, any sport, you should aim for peace at the end. Leave it all out there on the field, the ring, the octagon, or the court. Bottom line. And I think that's what will happen if these two ever fight. I think they would actually fight because they have that terrible disdain. And I just know Tyrese Gibson would probably be in the corner of Vin because he is riding on Vin's coattails pretty hard. But no disrespect, Tyrese is still a GOAT. Before I unveil my number one pick, I do have some honorable mentions. So hang tight. We will get to my number one pick. My first honorable mention is Logan Paul versus KSI 3. I know we've seen that fight twice, but the second fight had so much controversy to it. To Logan Paul getting hit on the back of the head, to Logan Paul dropping KSI, but the referee not counting it as a knockdown, and for the referee taking 2 points, not 1, but 2 points away from Logan Paul. It was a fight that got stolen from Logan Paul. I'll admit I like Logan Paul more than Jake, but Logan Paul definitely won that fight, and I think a third fight between those two needs to happen. I'm putting these two together. In the book Labyrinth, written by Randall Sullivan and created by Russell Poole, it is a novel that dives deep into the conspiracy theory of who shot Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur. And in the book, there is a quote saying that Suge Knight wanted a boxing match to take place between himself and Biggie Smalls, and he wanted the co-main event to be Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, aka Puffy, against Tupac Shakur. Man, imagine if those two fights would have happened. Those would have been the biggest fights of the 90s, and it definitely would have kicked off the wave of celebrity boxing to happen. It would have happened probably a lot sooner, but it is definitely something that would have been exciting to happen. Who knows if the fight between Suge Knight and Biggie would have gotten sanctioned? Who knows if Tupac and Puffy would have actually gotten in the ring? Who would have won? It is definitely a game of what ifs. I know the two biggest key components are no longer alive, so they didn't really speak on the boxing match proposal itself, but I think they would have taken it. I don't know about Biggie, but I think Tupac would have taken it. He actually wanted this fight to happen, and I think it is definitely one that should have happened. So that is definitely on my list. Too bad we won't be able to see it. I know. I'll get into a video about that whole conspiracy later. I'm going old school here, and these two have had beef since the 70s. Albeit they have squashed it over the years, but this is definitely a fight that we could definitely see. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be just small, but it would have to be the Terminator versus Rocky Balboa, a.k.a. Rambo. Sylvester Stallone versus Arnold Schwarzenegger. That fight would be an absolute banger to see. More two alpha males battling out to see who is the ultimate alpha male, and it would probably be the most old school fight anyone has ever seen.
Number 1, Chris Brown versus Soulja Boy.
This had to be number 1, right? I mean, it is the closest celebrity boxing match that was actually close to happening. And it is probably the most prominent beef in the entire celebrity world, that being athletes, movies, and music. And I was actually dying to see this fight. It all started in 2017 when Soulja Boy commented on one of Chris Brown's ex-girlfriend's Instagram photos. And ever since then, it's just been a downward spiral, or should I say upward spiral. These two have paved the way to sell the fight, to selling it great. I mean, as I mentioned earlier in the entry of Austin McBroom and Michael B. Jordan, you should never fight over a female. But yet everybody does it. And that's one thing that doesn't get highlighted enough is a lot of these celebrities would be fighting over females. And this is another instance. From disses on Instagram to disses in songs to basically Chris Brown phoning Soulja Boy himself and saying, hey, why'd you do that? Keep my name out your mouth, blah, 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 blah. And then we see I like Chris Brown for being a man in that regard. Him actually directing a call to Soulja Boy was truly ballsy on his part. And I like that because it's truly something that you don't see these days. And we had the slogan, put down the guns and put on the gloves. That goes in anything. If you have beef with someone, that is the slogan everyone should have in their minds. It got so real that Floyd Mayweather even offered to promote the fight. Floyd Mayweather was even chilling with Soulja Boy a day after both Chris Brown and Soulja Boy would agree to fight. Mike Tyson even said he would train Chris Brown to fight. It is getting more real by the moment. And we're thinking, hey, who we picking? I mean, I remember sitting in school thinking, hey, who you got, Chris Brown or Soulja Boy? A lot of people were choosing Chris Brown. I even have Chris Brown winning that fight. But many people were wondering when this fight would take place. It looked like January 2018 would be the place since this beef started in mid 2017. We all thought January 2018 would be the place and time for it to happen. It would either take place in Vegas or Los Angeles. Then the jokes of Chris Brown is going to beat Soulja Boy as bad as he beat Rihanna. Come on, people. We're better than that. Rihanna went through some real shit, albeit she's a queen now, but nobody deserves to go through what she went to. But back to the drama and beef between Chris Brown and Soulja Boy. We even had a point where Soulja Boy apologized to Chris Brown and asked to make music with him. And many people thought, oh man, the beef is over. We're never going to see the fight. But then in early 2018, Soulja Boy explained the real reason behind his and Chris Brown's beef. And what do you know? It is over a female. Now, we see a little bit of a pattern. Females, I want to say, cause a lot of drama. But more men fight about females than we are accustomed to seeing. We don't see athletes talk about it. We don't see athletes fight about it. But it is a common thing in the celebrity world of boxing and just the celebrity world, period. It is a common theme in life. So that whole thing of, hey, you shouldn't fight over a woman, and women, you shouldn't fight over a man. To me, that is a bunch of baloney, all right? And this whole beef has proven that. Then it seemed more drama, more issues about where the fight would take place, money compensations. It seemed like it just was getting farther and farther away from happening. And ultimately, still to this day, 3 years later, it hasn't happened. And as I mentioned before, it is the only celebrity fight that has been closest to actually happening. And I think that is definitely the fight we must see. The beef definitely lost a lot of momentum, but it is still there. Beef as serious as that never dies. I'm pretty sure if these two guys were to see each other on the street, it would be on sight. That is not something that is fabricated. These two guys do not like each other, and they have to settle it. I mean, shoot, Mike Tyson could put it on his Legend Leagues only. Even Triller could make that happen. I'm pretty sure there are many outlets. And if there's ever more of a time for it to happen, it is now. It is now. I think back then it should have happened, but now is the time. Strike while the iron is hot. Even if you make it next week, I'm pretty sure millions would tune in to watch that fight. And not only that, I believe celebrity boxing is truly something that should have happened 8, 9, 10 years ago. Albeit they did make a show, Celebrity Boxing, back on Fox. It only aired for 2 episodes. But this is something that can truly come back. It can be more sanctioned. It can be more safer. And it will just bring a whole lot of eyes to the sport of boxing. We've seen YouTubers, TikTokers don't take this as a game. It is not no game. This is their life, and they are out to prove it for sure. And that is why, if you got beef, regardless, if you're a celebrity, athlete, average citizen, you should aim for peace through way of combat. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment. If there is any fight that you want to see happen between 2 celebrities, go ahead and comment. Or if you like the list I put together, go ahead and comment on which fight you're looking forward to most. Shall any of these fights happen? And also, guys, please subscribe for great weekly content providing all sports, all entertainment. I promise you, it is amazing content that you do not want to miss.